Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for a tech tip. Today, we're going to show you how to create a test and a test bank in Canvas. Following this, there will be another video on how to find the statistics for tests that will be very helpful for you down the road. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the class that I want to go into. In this case, I want to go into my human body systems. And over on the left, you're going to see your bar. You're going to hit quizzes. And what you're going to do is we're going to hit this quiz later when we're going to create one. But first, we're going to create a question bank. So I'm going to hit question bank, and I'm going to add a question bank. And I'm going to just name it fake so that I know, I'll put fake one, so that I know that I can get rid of it later. This is just my trial. But I'm going to show you a couple different options that you can use for your question bank. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the name of the file or the name of the bank, and I'm going to add a question. And on here, I can name the question whatever I want, question 1, or I can name it a specific name. But you can also do a multiple choice. So here's all of the things that you can do. You can do a multiple choice, a true, false, a fill in the blank. I like this fill in the blank because it allows you, unlike a lot of other programs, to put in stuff that the kids may spell wrong. So it would actually write those. They would actually mark them correct if they spelt it wrong, if you put it in as one of the options for the answer. There's multiple answers. There's a multiple drop down. There's a matching, which I'll show you. There's lots of other things on here. I'm not going to go through each one, but you can kind of play around with those as you move through trying to figure out how to use this this option. So I'm going to hit multiple choice because a lot of people use multiple choice, and I may put I'm going to put a multiple choice question in here, and I'm not going to type it out because that'll take a while. But I'm going to put a multiple choice question in there, and then I'm going to put the correct answer here. So let's say I put carpals. I'm just going to use the ones that I use for some of my other tests. Okay. These are your possible answers. These are not the correct ones. Okay, the correct one is the very first one. If I want to put more, I can hit add another question if I want, cervical, sacral. All right, and then I'll press update question. Okay, there's my question there. And so now I want to add another question. I go up to the top, I hit add a question, and this time I want to show you how to add a true false. Okay, same way, type in my question, right down here, true. Okay, you can have it default to giving them a comment, or I can make it false. I just click there, and that will give me a true false. Okay, another option on your drop down is you're going to see multiple or matching. I'm sorry. So I'm matching. What I like to do, because I teach a class called Human Body Systems, is I like to give them maybe a major bones quiz. So I've already uploaded the picture directly in here that I created. You can get these from the internet if you'd like, but I created my own. I click on the image and I've uploaded it to my Canvas already, and it's in my course files. And so let's say that I want to give this bone quiz that I've been talking about. So I want to do this. I'm going to click on the one I want, and then I'm going to upload it. And what you'll see is here's the image that I want students to match. Okay, so I am going to come up here and I'm going to say, okay, A is my cervical. Okay, I want them to also do B. So I can come over here and I'll press B, and this is my thoracic. Okay, and then if I want to add more, I can add more from there. I can say C, lumbar, etc. Okay, and then I come down here and I update the question. All right, now since I had 3 of them in there, I actually want each one to be worth 1 point, so I'm going to make it worth 3. If I wanted them each worth 2 points, I would make it 6, etc. Okay, and then I'm going to update this question. Okay, now that I have all of my stuff done, I go in, I make all of these questions. I'm going to go back into my quizzes over here on the side, and now I want to build a quiz. Okay, and so if I want to build a quiz, I'm gonna use classic quizzes this time, and we'll do something about new quizzes later. I'm gonna press submit, and I'm going to name this a fake quiz. Okay, just to keep everything in unison here. And this time I'm going to hit questions up on top. Now, what I want to do is I want a new question group, okay? Because I want to take stuff off of my actual question banks. So I'm going to hit new question group. And this time I want to link it to a question bank that I already created. So I'm going to click that. And let's say that for me, I want to do, let's say I want to do directional regional terms. What you'll notice is that there's 20 questions that are in this particular question bank. Okay, I may not want those students to answer every one of them, so I wanted to only pick maybe 10 this time. Okay, and I want it to be 1 point per question. All right, so I can kind of determine how many I want them to do as we move through. And so this was directional regional, so maybe I put DR for mine. Okay, and then I'm going to create the group. Okay, and now you can see there's 10 questions. Now I want to add another set. So I'm going to go to new question group, and this time maybe I want to link my, let's see what looks good in here. I want to do major bones. Okay, there's 27 of those. I'm going to select that bank, and maybe this time I only want to do 20. Okay, and then I'm going to create the group. Okay, now I have this question bank that's linked to this specific test. Okay, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to set my parameters like everything else. I'm going to grade it, right? I'm going to give them, I can allow them to have multiple attempts. Okay, if you want students to retake the test, you can do that. You can use the latest if they retake a test. You can use the highest, or if you want to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to average it. You can do that. I'm going to allow attempts. So I'm going to allow 3. You can let students see their quiz responses if you want. Incorrect questions will be marked in their student feedback. You can allow them to see it only after their last attempt, or only once after each attempt. And you can let students see the correct answers if you would like. Okay, and then you can also set when they see the correct answer. So show these correct answers at midnight tonight. Okay, hide these correct answers at midnight tomorrow. Okay, so you have that option. Show questions one at a time. You can allow it to only show one at a time, and then once they answer it, you can lock the questions, or you can allow them to go back. I always require an access code for this, so you can say pass. You can label it whatever you want. I usually change them per period so that students have a different access code, and students have to come in and get that into office hours or into the class. You can assign it to different periods at different times. So let's say first period, I want this to be due at, I don't know, it'll be due at midnight. I'm going to have it available from the morning until midnight. That'll allow for students to come in during that time. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll have it open at the beginning of class and then close at a particular time. You can also set a time limit up here. So for me, if I have a 7:30 class and I say, hey, you guys show up at 7:30, there's going to be a 25-minute quiz. And then I open it till maybe 8:30, and anytime within there, if they come in on time, they'll have 25 minutes, but it will close at the due date or at the due time. Okay, so let's say I want 25 minutes. Okay, I'm going to see if I can give this to a student just so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and once that's done, this will save and publish. Okay, now I have that quiz that's on here. I'm going to show you another cool feature. So if I go to this quiz and I want to go to that student that I just assigned it to, what I can do, if you have a student who maybe requires that you give them extra attempts, I may want to give only one student extra attempt. So I might give this student, I gave everybody 3, maybe I want to give this student 4 more. Okay, maybe a student has a requirement that they have extra time. So extra time on every attempt. For this particular exam, I gave 25 minutes. So maybe I want to give them an extra 13 because they get time and a half. I'm going to save it. And now that student you'll see has 7, and it says that they have an extra amount of time on this quiz of 13 extra minutes. This is an easy way for you to create quizzes and to allow your students to have accommodations that they need, and also use question banks. If you use the question bank and you only use 10 of the 20 questions for that particular set of questions, then what will happen is it will randomly select them. So students aren't always getting the same question, but they are. You are checking for understanding, so that they're not getting the same one and just memorizing those. This is a quick tutorial on how to build your test questions and banks in Canvas. We will have one later on what you do once you have those tests taken, how you can see if students navigated away from the page during the quiz, and how to get your quiz statistics to help you reteach or to help students with questions that they got wrong. Like always, it's free. Please subscribe, and we will see you later for another tech tip.